So there's two videos that I want to talk about in this new Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3 saga. A lot of these two footage is the ones that I mainly have seen going around. It's of Conor trying to put out some sort of video or some sort of workout content that shows that he's preparing for the Dustin rematch. But there's a couple things that I wanted to go over before we talk about those videos. A couple of things. How did the second fight go? How was it different from the first one? And how do I think maybe this third one goes based off of these videos and just in general how it goes? So the first fight and the second fight were very similar. There's some differences other than the winner of the fight, Dustin being the loser of the first and then Conor being the loser of the second. The differences similarities was that Conor was getting leg kicked a lot by Dustin Poirier, and then that was present in the first fight and also in the second fight. The difference was the placement of the kicks. One was on the thigh, which was in the first fight, and the second fight was more onto the calf, which resulted in stopping Conor from using his movement and what we typically see from Conor in the old days. So it's very interesting as we go into these videos. There's two videos. So the first one is of Conor kicking a pole. So he's just doing light drills or shadow boxing with a pole. It's much more. It looks like a Muay Thai stance and type of training that he's doing. So he's heavy on the front foot, and what he's doing is he's using his front foot mainly, but he's also using his back foot to throw front kicks. And then the other thing that he does very interesting is he turns his front leg to the side. So he basically lifts it up and then rotates it, 45 degrees, right? He turns it to the right. What he's trying to demonstrate here is acknowledgement again of these calf kicks being the reason why he lost in the second fight. And he's also trying to tell us, I'm working on it. Now, does that technique necessarily work in a rematch against Dustin? I don't think he's able to move his leg in that position fast enough for it to react to Dustin's kick. Now, that is present in Muay Thai, but Muay Thai is a completely different sport. Muay Thai is a much more narrow stance because you don't really have to worry about the takedowns and stuff like that, as opposed to MMA, where you tend to have a wider base. The reason why is you have a stronger foundation to sprawl, to clinch, all type of stuff. But what Conor's doing here is he's not necessarily trying to show us like this is how I'm going to beat Dustin or defend against Dustin's leg kicks. I think it's just an exaggeration that he's showing us, that he's acknowledging that, hey, I know, I see the comments, right? I know that the leg kicks were the reason why I lost in the second fight, right? The Dustin versus Poirier 2. So let me show you some stuff that I'm working on. And then the second piece of footage is when he's in the gym. He's actually hitting a heavy bag and one of those balloon bags, whatever, the one that Canelo uses all the time. Yes, as many people noticed, this guy has no hand wraps. I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to break his hand. Maybe he's trying to get them stronger. But he's in the gym and he's doing something a bit similar. He's not really checking kicks or showing how he would check kicks, as he did in the first video. But what he's doing very, very, which is interesting, is he's demonstrating again that front kick. So he throws the front kick with his lead foot, but also throws it with his back foot as well. The times that he did throw it with his back foot, it kind of looked like the reason why he did it was because he wouldn't have reached the ball thing, the balloon thing with his lead foot if he were to kick, because it was just a little too high. But he also did a jumping switch front kick. I think this is, in previous fights with Conor, he's done stuff like this, right? He's put out content, he's put out fight footage of stuff that he's working on that was talked about in previous fights, or he's talked about him working on verbally, right? The difference here is that he's coming off a loss, and it's kind of hard to decipher whether or not the reason why he's doing this is because the whole leg kick situation was in his head, or is in his head, or he's just doing what Conor McGregor does and puts out exaggerated footage of himself on the internet. One big thing that I took away from that second fight was that Conor didn't really react to those leg kicks in a uniform way. So what I mean by that is he didn't approach those leg kicks the same consistently. So throughout the fight, there's different ways that he reacted to these kicks. One way he reacted to the kick was he stepped back out of range and made Dustin miss. Another way he reacted to it was he just ate it full on flesh. Another way was that he would eat it and then return with the cross, trying to hit Dustin. And he did hit Dustin pretty good, but Dustin had his guard up most of the time to avoid any of that real damage. The other way that he reacted to it was grabbing the ankle area. So Dustin would throw it, and then he would grab the ankle and really do nothing with it, right? So what I noticed was when he did it, he kind of was thinking, okay, what should I do? Do I take this? Do I push him against the cage? Do I take this and try to leg kick him? Like, what do I do with it? And then ultimately he threw like a telegraphed high kick at one of the situations. But I think in this third fight, he's going to have a much more uniform response to what these leg kicks are. This leg kick is not the only thing that he has to worry about or he has to deal with when it comes to Dustin Poirier. It's just something that he has to acknowledge and address consistently, right? Not eat it one time, not jump out of range one time, not grab it one time, not set a return across. There needs to be more decisiveness when he's just dealing with these leg kicks. If he decides, okay, in this certain situation, I'm going to grab for the leg. In this certain situation, I'm going to eat it and then hit it with a cross. Then that's completely fine. But it seemed like in the second fight, he just was indecisive. He didn't know what to do and when to do it. So there would be times where he ate it and he tried to return with a cross, but he was way too far out. So maybe in the third fight, if he senses that leg kick coming and he's a little bit further out, he'll take a step back and not return with a cross. Maybe he's really close and he says, you know what, I'm going to eat this and then return with a cross. Maybe he's in the middle and he grabs for that foot. And then when he gets that foot, then he punishes Dustin Poirier with a body kick. Because Dustin is most likely going to expect a cross returning back to him with one of those left hands. So Conor McGregor, I think the leg kicks did impact him, right? It's something that he's going to remember going to the third fight. Now, does that mean that he doesn't know how to react to it? No, I think he's going to go in there knowing how to react to each of the situations when that leg kick comes. It'll be much more decisive, and he'll have an opportunity now to implement other things in his game without worrying about, what do I do? How do I react? What's going on in this fight? Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. If you want more, subscribe to the channel for more content like this and a weekly podcast about MMA and UFC.